Howdy and welcome to the Brother Sister Show. My name is Livia. I host this with my brother.
Anthony.
We're on our 39th episode. We're going to talk about Scott Pilgrim versus the World. Like we do, we talk about a movie every week. But before we do that, we're going to catch up.
So what the hell? What the hell, Olivia?
That was the first thing on my list is let's talk about why we delayed. Have we ever done that? I think we
Never.
have. I'm pretty sure we have for like the holidays.
Oh, the holidays, yeah, but
All right, so let me get into it. So everybody knows, and I should have planned for this, but everybody knows that I'm in the middle, or I was in the middle of moving. It's pretty much done now, but like I said last week, I was just waiting for the other shoe to drop, and it kind of did. There was a lot of things that happened, but the thing that actually delayed it was I didn't know when I would have internet.
yeah.
Because the thing I can tell everybody if you can like not move during a pandemic, that would probably be the best way to go about things. But if you were, I would call everybody that you like have something being delivered, whether it's a couch, furniture, internet, like phone service, whatever. You need to call and ask like every day, or even before you order it, you need to call and ask, or at least confirm when stuff is going to be delivered, if that makes sense.
Yeah.
Because at least with the internet, this kind of happened with my couch. I wonder, I can get into the internet thing first, where I was expecting them to deliver. They're doing like self installs for the most part because of like COVID. And I was expecting the self install like for the modem to be delivered on the day that I moved in. And it just didn't. Like it never showed up. And it said everywhere on the app, on my email, everywhere, it said it was going to be delivered that day. And so I called them and I was like, hey, what the fuck? And they said that it's basically in backstock. Like because of COVID, everything is being delayed, like shipping, whatever they have available, I guess. And it does make sense. I mean, a lot of people are working from home, so a lot of people are waiting for their internet or at least upgrading it or needing internet now, whatever. And so it just causes a bunch of delays. And he basically told me, I was like, okay, but like, when am I going to get it? Like this week? Like what's happening? And he was like, I don't know. And this was on Saturday. And I was like, I told Anthony I could record. I think I said like Sunday or something, or Monday. Yeah. And I didn't even realize till like all of this, the only thing I was thinking of obviously was work, because I'm working from home now. I need internet. And I didn't want to be one of those people, because I know everybody needs internet, but it is frustrating when they give you a day and it doesn't arrive. You know, like I understand all these delays are happening, but you just got to tell me so I can plan. I can be like, okay, maybe I can get a hotspot. Like I could have planned this ahead of time. And so that's why we had to delay. We had to I ended up getting internet on Monday. So it was a quick turnaround. They got somebody to come out and do it, but I just didn't. Even then, when they told me that, I was like, okay, but like, I'm not going to reschedule and say that I can, because who knows what's going to happen, you know?
Right.
So, yeah, apologies for the delay. I think it's fine. I do feel bad that it had to be last minute, but
it is what it is.
The second thing was the couch, which is less important because I can live without a couch, and I am going to live without a couch for like 2 weeks, I think.
Whoa, what happened?
So it's basically the same thing with the internet. So I was expecting them to deliver it on my move-in date. And two, like when I ordered it from, I guess I can say, I ordered it from Living Spaces, and I ordered it like a month ago. Like it was a while ago, and they let me pick the delivery date. So I was like, oh, okay. Cause there's some Couches are like, a lot of furniture is in super high demand, so it's kind of hard to find stuff. And so I was pretty diligent where I was like, okay, so it let me pick a delivery date, so it's going to be here on that day. And they were supposed to call me the day before. This is so boring. But they were supposed to call me the day before so I can schedule my delivery. They never did. So I called them, and or I was like, oh, maybe I need to call them. So I called them, and the lady was like, oh, okay, so your couch is in back stock. And I was like, okay, what does that mean? And she said, well, we don't know when we're going to, like, we'll call you to when it's ready to be delivered when we have it in stock. And I said, okay, so, like, do you know when? Because y'all let me pick a date that it can be delivered. So, like, it's not crazy of me to think it can be delivered that day. And so she was like, well, we don't really know. But we'll, like, as soon as it's in stock, we'll call you and we'll schedule a delivery date. And I was like, okay, so that could be tomorrow or it could be next month. And she was like, ma'am, I can't really tell you. So basically,
ma'am,
yeah.
There's a couch somewhere.
That's basically, they're like, so you gave us $700, right? You have a
told
couch.
Us to get a couch.
Don't know where it is. Don't know when you're going to get it, but you'll get it. Like, that's insane to me. I was like, okay, but like I don't know. It's so hard to be mad at. I don't want to be mad at anybody right now because this is such a shitty time. But it is such a, like, annoyance to me when they let me pick a date, and I was like ready to get a couch on that date. And the only thing I was mad about, I wasn't mad that I didn't get a couch when I wanted one, right? Like, that's kind of dumb to be mad at. I'm just mad that I never got any notification of this. So what is I just supposed to, like, know that? And then I asked her, okay, well, just to be clear, like, I mean, I wanted to see what I did wrong. So I was like, so, like, what do I do on the website? Because it said it was in stock. And she was like, okay, so what you have to do is you have to see that it's in stock. But then I had to, like, do all these other things. And I was like, why is it such a mystery? Why can't you just tell me, hey, we don't know when we're going to get this, but if you give us money, I promise you'll get it. It was just insane. So I was like, okay, just cancel the order.
Were there quotes around that in stock, or like parentheses?
No, it said in stock.
In theory.
It said in stock. And so, and that the thing too is I was going to order one that was, like, custom, like you can, like, pick the colors. But then when I was going to, like, check out, it said, hey, we don't know, like, you can't pick a delivery date for this because we don't know when it's going to be available. But it didn't, so it had that for that, and I was like, okay, I just won't get that then. And so I picked another one, and it had a calendar, and it let me pick a date. So I was like, okay, so this is ready, and it'll be delivered when I need it. So
just when you thought.
What I'm thinking happened, now thinking back on it, I think they probably had it at that time, and maybe because I ordered it, like, this was, like, not a month ahead, but maybe 2 weeks, like 2.5 weeks ahead of time. So maybe they sold out between then, but that's so weird to me. And that just makes me uneasy about ever ordering from them. So I just instead I got one from Rooms to Go, and they guaranteed me, the guy told me it is going to be, I was like, just please tell me it's going to be delivered. I don't care what day, just tell me it's going to be here. So I am going to get it on the 28th of August. So I do have to wait a while, but I mean, I have a roof under my head, so whatever. That's just the annoying thing is, like, if I pay for something, I want to know it's, like, at least I just want you to tell me. It was just so weird that I had to call, and I had to, like, call the day before for them to tell me, oh, we don't know when we're going to get it.
I want to know that the couch exists.
Exactly.
As you order it.
I want to know that it is somewhere in the ether. But that's my advice, I guess, if anybody is trying to buy something. Because I've talked to a lot of friends that are trying to get desks right now, and it's kind of the same thing where it'll be in stock, but then they'll go and it's not there anymore. You just have to, like, call. You have to, for Living Spaces, if I were to order from them again, I would call and make sure that they have it, or call and say, hey, is this in back stock? Am I actually going to get it? Like, what is happening? Like, you have to call and make sure, because I mean, like I said, I don't want to be mad at people, so I would like to have that expectation set so I can be like, okay, like, I don't want to, I don't know, it's very, it's just a frustrating time, and maybe that's why I'm mad about it. But either way, I'm in my new place. It'll be fine. So that was such a rambling just explanation of what happened, but there you go.
How do you like it? How is it? Your new place?
Oh, I love it. It's a lot bigger. I mean, I showed you on FaceTime. It's a lot bigger. I like the location. Um yeah. It's kind of whenever I moved to Austin, whenever I moved on my own, it's kind of what I had wanted, but I couldn't afford back then, if that makes sense. Like, this is not obviously the dream home. Like, this is not where I want to live for the rest of my life, but it's, I'm proud of it, is what I'll say.
I think it's a big step up from your last place. It looks a lot nicer.
Yeah, I'm excited for you to eventually see it in person.
Yeah, it looks cool.
I'm recording from my closet. I probably could do that at the old place, but this closet, I think this closet is as big as my restroom in the old place. And that restroom was tiny.
Damn.
I mean, you've been in my old place. I'm excited for you to see the new one, because I think over the phone it looks nice, like on FaceTime, but in person it's a lot better.
I bet. Yeah, it looks pretty cool.
Except I still, like I said, I don't have a lot of furniture. So everything is kind of mismatched, and I'm in the process of getting rid of some stuff, and I haven't unpacked fully, so it looks like a mess in some places, but...
How is the actual move? Like, bringing everything, is it first floor, second floor? What are we talking?
So, okay, that's why I'm excited for you to see it, because it's on the first floor, and my patio, so I have like it's a balcony, but because it's on the first floor, I call it a patio. It's facing the parking lot. So when we came to the new place with all this stuff, we didn't have to move it. Like, we didn't have to go through the front door. We just put stuff in the balcony and then just walked around and put it in my apartment.
That sounds nice.
Yeah. So, and I do that now with my groceries. I'll there's a parking spot that's always in front, that's always open, and it's always in front of my patio. And so I'll just put all my groceries in my patio, and then I don't have to carry anything around. It's so nice.
Living the dream right there.
Yeah, and I feel like I'm just bragging, but there's just so many cool amenities that I never even thought of. Like, there's for my pet, I get a lot of washer and dryers. It's a game changer. It's so strange. I'm still of the mentality that I have to make an entire day out of doing laundry. But now I just I'll just have it going while I'm working. And I've just never had that before. I've always had to do it on the weekend or do it after work.
Yeah.
So
that's nice.
Yeah. But I don't know, it is strange. Like I said, it feels strange to talk about, to be to be happy about something like this. But I am proud, because I the only reason I'm able to afford this place is because of me. So it's not like I'm borrowing money or something. So I am proud of that fact, that I earned it. So that's cool. That's also why I'm comfortable talking about it. I feel like, I don't know, there's something that I learned about when watching, I think I talked about Rami, right? There's something called the evil eye. Have you heard of it?
No idea.
So basically in their culture, it's where you're not supposed to brag about stuff, because then if you get the evil eye, and that basically means that you get bad luck. So it's bad karma for bragging about something, or being it's kind of the whole be humble kind of thing. But
okay.
Yeah, so that I feel like I feel some of that, but if I talk about it too much, then, or maybe that's what the karma was that I didn't get my internet in time.
Yeah, that's what it was. You have a whole podcast where you brag about moving in. Oh, it's nice couch. Boom, it doesn't even exist.
I know, and then now that I'm talking about it, the day that we release it, my internet's just going to completely go out.
Yeah.
All right, enough about me. I've been talking for too long. What about you? And because of that, I haven't really been watching anything. So there's not really much to talk about on that end. But
well, my move-in wasn't as dramatic as yours. I don't know what the hell happened. I'm just playing.
It really wasn't, though. I feel like you were like, yeah, I moved in. And then like a day after, you and Kayla had just all your stuff up. And I was like, I put my bed together. That was it.
Well, I had nothing. Okay. I had like the largest thing was like all my computer stuff, like my monitors, desktop, all my electronics. That's like the biggest thing that I had. And I came up to College Station to move in like a day before Kayla and I came up with Dad's truck. And that was nice because I just dropped off everything. I didn't have to worry about it. Like I said, I don't have a lot of stuff. And I brought some of Kayla's stuff too. And then we the day after, I did a little day trip. The day after we came, we brought the rest of Kayla's stuff and built some IKEA furniture, put our Amazon dinner table together. It's been nice. I really like the place. It's cool to have your own place. I don't know, like having that dorm, it just didn't feel like it was mine. I just felt like I was in a hotel for 3 months and I would just leave. Yeah. But it's been really awesome. Just like chilling. I've been watching a lot of stuff. Let's see.
Well, last time I talked to you, you were watching Twilight. How did that go?
Yeah, so I watched the entire Twilight saga because Kayla wanted me to see that. And
have you never seen them?
I don't think so. Mom, let me know after this when you hear this. But I think I went to one of the movies like in the theater with you. I think it might have been like New Moon or something. I don't know. I knew way too much about it, more than I thought I did. But that story of the first Twilight. Like, who let Stephenie Meyers get away with writing Robert Pattinson's character, like Edward?
You know what, though? I will say, so I've read the first book for sure, and then I think I started the second one, but I don't know. But I will say, from what I remember, but I was a teenager when I read it, the first book is not bad.
Okay. Maybe it's just like, the movie adaptation.
It's cheesy, and it's super cheesy. And honestly, the first movie, for what it is, for it being a teen, like young adult kind of thing, it's not terrible. But then the more it goes on, the more insane it gets.
It's very like it's unsettling to me that Stephenie Meyers had that in a dream and was like, all right. We're going to write this.
But did you know how it started? Like why she wrote it?
What do you mean?
Oh, wait. No. Never mind. I'm thinking of something else. I thought it was the other way around, but I'm thinking of 50 Shades of Grey.
Yeah, 50 Shades of Grey.
But that is stemmed from Twilight. I thought it was the other way around, but
no.
Never mind. The idea is not terrible, but like, I just don't care for what she did with it.
Yeah. The vampires felt kind of lame. The only cool part was that some of them had their own powers.
Yeah.
Where they could do other stuff, which is kind of cool. The first movie, what is it after? New Moon was all right. And then it's Eclipse, right? How was there 5 movies also? It went by so fast.
Yeah. What was
the
your
last
favorite?
one? I'll say I was like pretty interested. I don't know if it's just because I was already like so far in the story, but I was not eager, but I was interested in finishing the story.
I do like the ending. I think that was pretty, from what I remember, was pretty surprising because I hadn't read the books.
Oh.
Do you know what I mean? That part where it's like a whole vision thing.
Yeah.
That I kind of respected because I wouldn't see a young adult book ever doing that.
Yeah, that was pretty cool. The whole Jacob as a character is weird. The whole like, I don't know.
I'm so over this idea of like all, like the fact that like 5 different men in the book had the same taste for one woman. You know, that was kind of weird. And in the book, it was overplayed too, where like every single guy that met Bella, is that her name, Bella? Every single
Yeah.
guy that met her like was in love. I mean, she's really pretty, but like the character herself is kind of boring. Like I was like, I mean,
Yeah,
the
she
love
was.
triangle itself feels but like five other people, I'm like, come on.
But yeah, that was Twilight. That was pretty good. It was all right. Better stuff I watched. Clash of the Titans. Man, that movie, that brought back so many different memories. Have you ever seen it? And
I don't even know if I know what you're
why
talking
not?
about.
Clash of the Titans. It's
Yeah.
like it's a story about.
Is it the guy from Avatar?
Yes, he plays Perseus,
I've
the
heard
Greek
of it, but
demigod.
I feel like I've seen it in passing when it feels like a movie you and mom would watch,
Yeah,
and I
it's a
would
good
just see
movie.
it kind of, but it has that
That
meme of release the Kraken, right? Is that what that's from?
yeah. Liam Neeson is Zeus, and he says that Voldemort, the actor who plays Voldemort, is Hades.
Ralph Fiennes?
Sure, I guess I don't know.
That's the actor's name. I don't know if it's Ralph or Rafe.
I have no clue.
We'll say Ralph.
Gun to my head, I'd die. Clash of Titans is good. I really want to watch Wrath of the Titans, which is the sequel. But that's neither here nor there. Then another, because Kayla's been working, I just been doing nothing, playing games. I've been streaming. I like only Ricardo watches, but I like the idea because I can go back and rewatch some parts that have been really funny. Like I was laughing so hard that I had an asthma attack. Oh, that's another thing about.
Why don't you like clip them and then send them in the Discord?
I might.
I want to see that. How you have an asthma attack?
It was like, if you saw it, I looked back and I was like, why was I even laughing at this? I was showing Kayla. She's like, what? What is this? It was probably me laughing, but also the mold. Oh, there's mold in my apartment.
Oh, is there?
Yeah, and we have a little patio. We're at first floor too, and we have a little patio. And there's a little garage. We call it a garage, but it's like a little
Oh, it's like a storage room.
Yeah, there was black mold everywhere. Or we think it was black mold. It looked terrible.
Did you call the management?
Yeah, we had some people come out and they took away all the sheetrock, and right now it's just there. Like
Wait, why are you laughing about that?
No. I'm saying it was either me laughing or the black mold that caused me to have an asthma attack. My asthma's been acting up a little bit just because of the new environment, because we have a carpet in here, so just all of the allergies. But
mine, I think our family is just like
weak. Yeah,
I think so, because my allergies have been. Mine are bad all the time, and my family is convinced it's my cat. I don't think it is.
Man, when last Thanksgiving, we almost died.
I think I think you'll feel it, though. I feel a difference, because I think it was the apartment.
It might have been.
Because that was like an older place. And I feel a little bit better. I mean, I still have just like seasonal allergies, but it feels like all the time. It feels a little bit better.
Seasonal allergies all of the time.
I think so. I think that's what our family has, because we're always all like sniffling and coughing. But I thought that was the norm for everybody, but Sebastian like never has allergies, so I don't know. I do feel a lot better though. Hopefully people can hear it maybe in the recording. I'm not sniffling as much, but
yeah, I did a whole deep clean, like vacuumed, shampooed the carpet, wiped the fan blades, took apart the vent. It was like super dusty. And I just like vacuumed that out. It was gross. But yeah, they took out the mold. They haven't replaced the sheetrock, so we're waiting on that.
Oh, I didn't know you had carpet. That sucks. I have I say wood, but it's like, I was gonna say hardwood, but it's like laminate.
I have that. We have that in the like main living room, but it's just in our room that's carpet.
For here, that's kind of strange though. I wonder if it's an Austin thing, but it's kind of the norm here when you're on the first floor. Because like they told me for second and third floor, there's some that's like laminate, but then just the room has carpet. But I told him if I can help it, I don't want any carpet. And usually, if you live on the first floor, and typically all the apartments that I tour, if you live on the first floor, then none of it is carpet.
Weird. That
Like, I
could
don't
be
have any.
why. Like it just carpet just holds so much.
What kind of ceiling do y'all have?
Ceiling?
Yeah, like is it flat?
I don't know. It's good,
Ooh,
I
just
guess. I don't know. Just look.
Yeah, look at your ceiling. Are you dumb?
Oh, ceiling. I thought you meant ceiling like SEALING.
No, like ceiling, like the what's underneath the roof.
It's like the one in San Antonio, or it's like kind of, I don't know how to
Is it like
describe it.
bubbly?
It's like, kind of, yeah.
So what I've learned too, so the old place that I lived at, this is so boring. The old place that I lived at, or maybe not, it had that's called popcorn ceiling.
Okay.
And that is prone to holding asbestos. That's why a lot of modern places don't have that kind of ceiling anymore. And mine had that, so I also think that was probably not a great thing.
Well, isn't popcorn, or it's like balls on the ceiling? We could just like scrape it off.
Is that not what yours looks like?
No, it looks like this stuff you couldn't. It looks like like if you melted those balls.
You have to send me a picture. But I learned that on, I think, TikTok.
Oh my
and
gosh.
I don't know, I just think my old place was, and I also was not good about changing out the filter, so I'm just gross, I think. I think Sebastian, he like, every time he comes over, he's like, ugh. He's the clean one out of both of us.
It's got to be someone.
Yeah, and it's not me. I guess it's me, myself.
There's no one else to blame.
Well, I was going to say I blame having, like, well, mom's clean, though. I don't know where it comes from.
Well, finally, on a cleaner note, I watched John Wick. I just finished John Wick 3.
There's 3 of them?
There's 3. There's going to be a 4th in 2022.
Oh, wow.
And
Good
those
for him.
movies are freaking awesome. I love those movies.
Oh man, I hope nothing comes out about him, but I love Keanu. I love when there's an actor that works all the time that looks like he like deserves it. Like he's nice.
Yeah, he definitely deserves. He deserves what he has. Good movies.
Well, you know what we also watched?
Scott Pilgrim versus the World.
Well, do you have any movie news? I don't have any.
I saw the new movie posters for Tenet, and it says like only in theaters. Is that? Do I have to go die to watch that movie?
Would you?
Maybe. I really want to see that movie. How much is renting a hazmat suit?
Just go to a drive-in. I'm sure a drive-in will.
There's no drive-in in College Station.
What?
There might be, actually.
I feel like that's the place where there would be some.
Because there's nothing else?
Because there's people that own like trucks and shit.
Trucks and Jeeps. Kayla's one of those.
You're now entering truck and Jeep country.
Jeep Nation. Jeep Nation USA.
Does she do the Jeep wave? Is that what it's called?
Yeah, I have to do it when I drive. She holds a gun to my head. Do the Jeep wave, Anthony. Do the Jeep wave. I'm just playing though. It's kind of cool because it's like, I know you, but I don't. Eh?
I want to do that with, there's a lot of, I have a 2007 Blue Pilot license plate. No, I'm kidding. I see there's a lot of people that have the same exact Pilot that I do. Same color and everything. Not the same dents, but.
Not the same dents.
No.
We'll just give them the Honda Pilot wave.
Just the finger?
Yeah. I did it one time when I was driving a different car that wasn't a Jeep, and I looked like a fool just out of habit. Yeah, it's not the Subaru Wave.
There's a Subaru Wave?
No, I'm just.
Oh, you were driving a Subaru? Oh, you weren't on we were on a FaceTime call the other day with Mom, and she was trying to show us she has a new car, and she was trying to show it to me and Emily, but it was dark outside, and so we couldn't see it. She's like, "Oh, here's my new car," and we're like, "Girl, we can't see that shit." All right,
That's funny.
You ready to take a break, and then we'll talk about Scott Pilgrim?
Sounds good. Need to send out a couple of thank you notes? When's the last time you sent a letter to your grandma? Maybe you need to send out some invitations to an indefinitely postponed wedding. Look no further. The United States Postal Service has you covered. That's right. For this episode, we wanted to give the USPS a shout out for keeping track of all of our nonsense mail. So head over to store.usps.com to copy some merch. Whether it be a US mail carrier costume for your dog or your kids, or maybe even a nice tote. Go support the USPS. All right, back to the podcast.
Scott Pilgrim must defeat his new girlfriend's 7 evil exes in order to win her heart in Scott Pilgrim vs. the World. Directed by Edgar Wright, based on the graphic novels by Brian Lee O'Malley, adapted by Michael Bacall and Edgar Wright, starring Michael Cera, Mary Elizabeth Winstead, and Kieran Culkin. Estimated budget of $60 million. Opening weekend, it made about $10.6 million. Yikes. In the US, it grossed about $31.5 million, and worldwide, it made about $47.6 million.
Rough.
I know.
Very rough.
And I think that was like one of my notes that I didn't realize. To me, I think I found this movie like a lot later than everybody. I don't remember seeing it in theaters, and I don't really remember being a huge fan of it. But whenever I think back about it, in my mind, it's such a popular movie that everybody loves.
Mm-hmm.
So it's so strange that at the time it was not. But whatever. And as far as critics received it, I don't know why I said it like that. It had a 7.5 out of 10 on IMDb, an 82% on Rotten Tomatoes, and a 69 on Metacritic. Nice. Yeah. Yeah, that was really surprising to me. But I guess that does make sense. It's like a cult classic.
Yeah. It fits the I don't know. I don't know what I was going to say. Keep on going.
Well, the first thing that I kind of want to preface everything with is I kind of want to do this, like we said, or like I said before, it was adapted. It's based on the series by six graphic novels by Canadian writer and artist Brian Lee O'Malley. And I'm kind of going to do it like I did with the Old Guard. I was going to do a little background about it, but I kind of want to just, as somebody who's not familiar with any of the novels, I kind of want to base my opinions on the world that the movie sets up.
Yeah.
And I don't want to give an opinion on how it adapted it, because that's not what this podcast is.
No, I probably will never read it. Only this movie I will watch.
Yeah, I'm more of in this kind of sphere, it's kind of like, for me, comic books. I love Iron Man, but I'm not going to read any of the comic books, that's not my jam. Well, the first thing, I love the 8-bit Universal logo thing. I love those kind of details in movies, and this one, I forgot how many details this movie has.
It's a lot, and it's very similar to the Simpsons movie with the 20th Century Fox. Yeah.
Or even, I think during that one, I also talked about this, but for Zombieland, it also has kind of, it's not Universal, but I don't think it is. I think it's Paramount. But I love when movies just start, they just they don't take any time to tell you what kind of movie it's going to be.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, and another thing to preference my notes. I know not preference. Preface my notes.
Preface.
It's like, wait.
It's not been that long. It's been a week. We used to
I
do
know.
this like this.
I know. And you didn't even make a comment about how I added decimals in my numbers, and I thought you'd be proud of me, and you didn't even say anything.
Oh, I didn't even. I don't know.
Well, to preface, I know like a month ago, the last episode that we did, I did a lot of deep dives, and I've tried to do that with most of them, but with a lot of the comic book ones, or no, it's not comic book, but a lot of movies that have so much trivia on IMDb, which is where we get most of the fun facts from. It didn't make any sense for me to do deep dives because multiple things that, like I said, a lot of this movie has so many fans that have already done all these deep dives for us, so it just doesn't make sense for me to do it myself. And it just, what was I going to say?
There's a lot of fun facts, and that covers. Those are the deep dives.
I had another thing to say, but I totally forgot. I am losing it. But yeah, so I'm not gonna
release podcasts bi-weekly. What's wrong with you?
I know. I don't know. I had it too. It just completely left my mind. It's okay. That was mainly the thing, is that there's just so much about this movie that it doesn't make sense to like add more, because then this podcast is going to be like 5 hours, and I'm barely holding on as we're doing this now.
Mm-hmm.
All right. So the first thing that we know is that it's set in Toronto, and they talk about it a lot, so it's not something that's lost on me. And then Scott is also dating a high school girl, which is very disturbing.
Gross. He's 22, right?
Yeah, so that's a note that I have later, that she's 17 and he's 22. And I wanted to put it into perspective for myself. That's like if I was dating a 19-year-old.
Gross.
Which is a year younger than you.
5 years?
If I did my math right, yeah.
Wow. That's crazy.
Isn't that gross? Can you imagine?
Aren't you like 30 now?
This is my... Fuck you. If I was like, hey, this is my boyfriend, and it was somebody that's a year younger than you. Ugh, gross. All right. But like we said before, the little details in this movie are just amazing. The first thing that I noticed or the first couple things, is how they amplify the sound in a visual way. Like whenever they're playing, I think we start at their band practice, and every time he's playing, you see these little kind of like lightning bolt things come out of his instrument. And it's so cool. And it's such a cool way to adapt a graphic novel, because you don't miss any of those visual elements that were probably in the novel itself.
That's how it does. That's how they do it in the graphic novel. Like, because there's no audio to give the viewer, the reader, that like extra depth. Like, there is music playing,
and they do that a lot through here. It's not just, they have like at the beginning when it says our story, or I don't know exactly what it says, but it says something about Toronto, and then Mark Scott Pilgrim is dating a high school. Like that's all in writing, and that was like one thing that when you told me, when you said you wanted to do this movie, I like instantly got not frustrated, but kind of frustrated, because I was like, how are we going to talk about this movie? Because it's so visual. But I think there's cool little tidbits that we can talk about.
Definitely.
And it's like Simpsons, where there's so many little jokes. So many. And I think that's what I lost earlier. What I was trying to say is there's so many fun facts, but there's also just so many details that if I wanted to pick certain things to talk about, I wouldn't even know where to start. I think that's what I meant, is that like for the Vast of Night, there's a few things where I'm like, oh, I'm interested in what a switchboard operator does, but this one is like, I don't even know like what the fuck I would hone in on, you know?
Yeah, there's a lot.
Another little detail that I noticed was that young Neil, I forgot his name. I think it's young Neil, right?
Yeah, young Neil.
Yeah, so he's playing a game, and because there was like little beeps throughout their dialogue that kind of serves as the background music, and I didn't realize until a little bit into the scene that it was his game that
Yeah,
was
there's a
like
lot of
serving as the background music.
that's another reason why I picked this movie is just because like the music in it is like really good. It's
Oh, and
fantastic.
now that you bring that up, our recent, it'll be like a couple days when this is released, but our question of the week, the reason I picked it was because this movie, and I think it was, I don't know the specific wording, but basically, what movie has the best soundtrack?
Everyone was wrong. No one said Interstellar.
Okay, that's one thing that I wanted to talk to you about is because to me, soundtrack and score are totally different things. Like right now, the score to our podcast is that barking.
Oh, you can hear
But
that?
the soundtrack would be like the theme song.
Okay.
I think score and sound, because if you notice the people that were answering, it was musicals or it was ones that have like. It's like
Why can't I just be right? Interstellar is the best.
But it's the best score. That's not the you're right, or you're right to yourself. But
Oh, I am right.
but
No,
you're
you're
answering
completely
the
right.
wrong question, is what I'm saying.
No, yeah, soundtrack is different. I'd say Fantastic Mr. Fox, honestly.
Oh,
Fantastic
that's a good
Mr. Fox is hard to beat, but I can read some of these that I have it pulled up if you want.
Yeah, and it's also on, if you follow us on Instagram, I think it's at Brother Sister Show.
At Brother Sister Show, yes.
Then you can, not only will you see all these answers, but you can give us yours and let us know, and we can talk about it. But yes, please give us some. I think there might be some that I haven't put yet. You can include those if you want.
Guardians of the Galaxy is the first one we have, that's hard to beat, honestly.
It's not bad, yeah.
New Moon, that was Kayla. That was Kayla. Hamilton, The Greatest Showman, Grease, Rio 2. Les Miserables.
You say it with the accent.
Less miserables. Less miserables. Those are not bad. Except for Newman.
Do you have one?
I don't remember anything from Newman.
It's like really emo music.
Oh, Fantastic Mr. Fox for me.
Yeah, you said it, sorry. I have been thinking about this all day, and I still don't know. There's a movie that I keep thinking of that nobody really talks about, and it came out like a couple years ago. Do you remember that movie Dope?
Dope? Yeah.
That one has a few, I think, popular songs, but it also has original ones that
Dope
I really
is
like.
good.
That's the only one I can think of. I mean, there's like musicals and stuff. Like Grease is a good one too.
Spider-Man Into the Spider-Verse is really good too.
Oh yeah, that's a good one. I do have if I'm going, I guess I can go off of the ones that I like so much that I bought the vinyl. I have the Pretty in Pink one. That soundtrack is, for people that love 80s music, such a great one. And really any John Hughes movie has amazing soundtracks. But did you know, have you seen The Breakfast Club?
Yeah.
Did you know that the song at the end, Don't You Forget About Me, that was made for the movie?
Oh, really?
I didn't know that.
I didn't know that either.
And I think another band was supposed to sing it, and I forgot which band, but
no clue.
Yeah. All right.
That's cool.
Speaking of bands, Scott is in a band, and they're called Sex Bomb, which I wonder what band, if I had a band, what the name would be.
Who knows? That's the next question of the day. Sex Bomb is a cool one.
Yeah, like I know there's like some sort of oh no, I thought I had a fun fact. I think there is some sort of fun fact that I just like didn't keep, but I do have a couple about the band themselves. The four cast members that made up the band, Sex Bomb, spent several weeks learning how to play together as a band. Mark Webber, Allison Pill, and Johnny Simmons all had to learn their instruments from scratch, while Michael Cera had to, quote, dumb down his bass playing in order not to outshine his bandmates.
Damn. So
Yeah.
he's been playing. He knows how to slap bass.
He also, I think I mentioned it last time, but they did, because this year is also the 10th anniversary of this movie, they did like a virtual table read of it.
Mm-hmm.
And I think the Ramona song that's later in the movie, he actually played it on the live read. So I think he still plays it. And I think isn't he in a band or something? Like a real band?
Yeah, he has. I know
It's
he has some
music.
songs out there. I have one of them saved on Spotify. It's good. He's pretty good.
All right, the next one. Allison Pill, who plays Kim Pine, only blinks once during the entire movie. Apart from that, she only breaks her gaze 3 times. She lowers her eyes twice and has her eyes closed when announcing Sex Bomb for the last time.
I like her character because whenever they're arguing during practices, she like cuts them all off and just like yells, "We are Sex Bomb," because she's the drummer and like sets the tempo and starts everything off. That's so cool.
The thing I also love about her character, it was a fun fact, and I didn't write it down, but I remember it. Do you remember the first battle of the bands they go to, and she gets mad because she sees that their drummer, the band of the other, or the drummer of the other band is also a girl.
Mm-hmm.
And if you notice throughout the movie, all the other bands that are in it, every single one has a girl drummer.
Yeah, that's pretty cool.
All right. My next note is just how much I said. I know this is a dumb note, but I just love how visual everything is. That sounds stupid for a movie, but it just made me want to watch Edgar Wright's like all of his movies because I think I've seen a few, but every single one that I've seen of his I've loved because he has such a distinct style. Because for this one, it's very visual because of the whole like graphic novel like nature of it. But it also made me think of Baby Driver, where that is very audio heavy, which I guess that also has a good soundtrack.
Yeah, that's another one that's really good. Yeah, Edgar Wright he's really good with editing action sequences and like getting close ups and showing like really quick actions, like opening a door, zipping up a sweater, or putting on sweatbands on your wrist. It is really good. There's this one action sequence, and I forgot which one of his movies, but it's like where everyone in the town is a robot or something. Everyone's like really weird in the town. The end or
Hot
something.
Fuzz?
Oh, it might be Hot Fuzz.
Is that where they're in a cult?
Actually, yeah, that one.
Mm-hmm.
There's one action sequence that's like, it's ridiculous how good he is with just his visuals and his editing.
But it's so annoying because he's good at that, but he's also good at the sound part of it. Like his big pitch whenever he was going around to pitch Baby Driver, his big thing to all the studios was that he said, if you make this movie, I can guarantee you'll get a sound editing Oscar nomination. And they did. I don't remember if they won. I'm sure they did. But yeah, like just to be that confident that you're good at that aspect of it, or that you at least are surrounded with people that are good at that, I aspire. And then we meet my favorite character. I don't know who your favorite character of this movie is, but mine is Wallace. I love him. I just love Kieran Culkin, though. And if anybody's listening and hasn't seen Succession, I bet you like Wallace in this. You need to watch Succession. Because in that show, he's like Wallace, but with money and much more of an asshole. And then I love that part where, so basically Wallace learns that Scott is dating a high schooler, and then he instantly calls his sister to tell about the high school girlfriend. And actually, whenever he calls her, she's at work and she has a name tag, and I have a little fun fact about the name tag. So Anna Kendrick, who plays the character Stacy Pilgrim, wears the actual name badge of the real-life Stacy, to whom the comic creator Brian Lee O'Malley based that character on. And in one of the DVD commentaries, Kendrick specifically asks that someone add this to the trivia and IMDb, so I needed to talk about it.
Did you watch the DVD comment? Oh, it's just on IMDb. Never mind.
That was on IMDb. No, how am I gonna? I don't have the DVD.
No. Whatever.
Then we see, that's the one thing I'm gonna probably do is I keep wanting to say Michael when I'm talking about Scott. But Scott and his girlfriend Knives are at an arcade, and I'm just really jealous that they're at an arcade.
They're not social distancing.
No. That's so annoying, and that's going to be like such a thing that my mind does, where I'm watching something and I'm like, why are you so close to each other?
For so long. It's going to happen for so long.
Oh, man. I have already lost that. I kind of want to have that conversation of like, because I feel like back whenever quarantine first started, I was really, not adamant. What is the word I'm thinking of? I guess aware. I was so aware of everything. I was like washing, like not only my hands, but I was like desanitizing just everything. And I was making note if I went to the store, which hand I touched what, you know what I mean? Like I was just like cataloging things in my brain. And I guess I shouldn't admit this, but I've been so lax about it lately. Where, I mean, I'm washing my hands and stuff, but I'm not as like, as soon as I get in the car, I like hand sanitize and everything, you know? So I'm kind of. Do you want me to cut this out
so you don't have to embarrass yourself, or?
But I feel like, I don't know if that's relatable or not, but I feel like I've been talking to my friends about how it's been going on for so long that, I mean, I'm still wearing my mask. I'm still doing all of the big things, but there's certain things where I'm like, I don't want to wash my fucking bag of potato chips, you know? Like stuff like that.
It's easy to forget some of that stuff.
Yep. So you can keep this in. I can embarrass myself and then remember to keep doing what I'm doing.
Yeah.
All right. Then after that, he has a dream of a girl roller skating in the desert. After that, he goes to the library with Knives, which I think he forgets about, but then he like goes. He's already a bad boyfriend at the very beginning.
Yeah, he's terrible.
And then he sees this girl from his dream at the library. And I also... sorry?
What are the freaking odds?
I know. It's fate. And I do love the transitions. I don't know which one I was referring to in this note, but I think like whenever he's having a dream, they don't really make it where he wakes up. He kind of just like whenever he gets the package from her, they don't have this scene where he's waking up. He's just like opening the door and we kind of realize that the dream's over, if that makes sense.
Yeah, it's crazy, the transitions. I don't even know how to speak on it. Just we'll go watch the movie and you'll see. Just go watch a freaking movie.
Then after this, they're going to a party that none of them want to be at. I think Scott takes the time to go and ask some guy that's just at the party about this girl, and he tells him that her name is Ramona Flowers.
It's so funny, the fun fact you got.
This next one?
No, yeah, just read it.
At the party where he talks to Ramona for the first time, Scott holds up a very badly drawn picture of Ramona and asks if anyone has seen her. Director Edgar Wright said Scott was originally supposed to hold a picture of Ramona from the comic book series, but felt the silly drawing Scott holds up was more comedic, which I'm glad they kept, because I feel like if they would have done that, I would have been like, oh, God.
I laughed so hard. Because it's just squiggles.
It's like a circle. Because her hair, the way her hair is like two, like it's mostly short, but then it has two long strands. And he just draws that. He draws like a circle and then two wiggly lines on the side of the circle.
It's so funny. I laughed way too hard on that.
The guy like knows who he's talking about. And then he looks around and finds her leaning against the wall. He goes up to her and talks to her, and it's kind of weird because he's like being really awkward. And then she leaves and he goes around asking about her. But I do have a fun fact about that. This is one of them that you probably have to go back to the actual movie and watch and like see it for yourself. But if you go to that scene of them where they're both leaning against the wall. When Scott first approaches Ramona at the party, the light switch that's visible on the wall is 7 feet above the ground near the ceiling. The party scene itself was filmed at a frat house in Canada, and the light switch puzzled the director as well as the crew. So if you look, the light switch is like so fucking high, and that's just how it was.
What the? That's ridiculous.
Yeah, it's very funny though. Frat houses are like, I don't know if you, well, no, you don't look at TikTok, but sometimes there's TikToks that I see of, there's a trend that's like things in my apartment that just make sense. And there's one that's like things in a frat house that just make sense. And they're so gross, some of them. And I feel like this is apparent in the movie, but he's such an asshole for like lusting over this girl while he has a girlfriend. And I mean, the girlfriend that he has is already like, the relationship is already questionable because she's so young, but whatever. And then the lead singer says that he got them a gig. And after that, Scott has another dream of Ramona when she wakes him up. Like I said, this is a transition where she wakes him up by delivering his package to her because she works at Amazon. I forgot to say that. And then he asks her out while she's like trying to do her job, and she says no instantly. And a fun fact about this scene, when Scott opens the door to receive the package, Michael Cera actually did the throw. That, like, you know, when he threw the package and it ended up in the trash?
Uh-huh.
He actually did that. And they had to do it for 33 takes, most of which you can see in the outtakes of the DVD. And in a film with so much CGI and SFX, director Edgar Wright wanted the throw to be real for the authenticity. However, the signature shown on screen was a visual effect that was superimposed onto the paper.
I'm not going to question his vision, okay?
I mean,
it's a little weird, but
it's kind of funny, but I don't know. I feel like if it was me, I'd be so nervous because I can picture, if I was in this movie and I had to do that, I can picture this conversation where he would be like, hey, I know we can like do this in post, but I really want you to throw it. And I think I'd be like, hey, but I don't think you understand how many takes that's going to be. And I cannot guarantee this is going to happen. Like,
this is going to cost you millions. I watched the outtakes.
Did you?
Yeah. He got pretty close a majority of the time. Like, he wasn't that far off.
It also isn't far away, right? But he does do it behind his back.
He does. He like throws it over his shoulder. It's very impressive. And I guess just like after watching that, it's kind of like opened my eyes, like how much actors have to do the same thing over and over. Like 33 takes. Each one of those takes, the only thing that was different is where the box landed. They did the exact same movement. It's ridiculous.
Interesting.
Very, very impressive.
Especially, I mean, it also depends on the director. So I don't know about Edgar Wright specifically. There's some directors that just do it within a couple of takes. But like for The Social Network, for example, that one, he is like famous. I think his name is David Fincher. I think that's who it is.
Yeah, we talked about it.
Yeah. But I don't know what kind I would prefer, though. I think I just want to be like a one and done kind of thing. It also depends on the actor.
Mm-hmm.
Like, I know from the movies I've seen and the interviews I've seen, there's a couple of, I think, like the professionals, like the actors that are really good that can do it within one take. And one that I know of that people always talk about is Michael Shannon. They say that he'll do it in one take and it'll be fine. Like, the director's like, okay, that's it.
That's awesome.
He seems like he could do that.
That's such a power move.
I know. Unless they're just like really scared of him and they just don't want to make him do it again. All right. So then after that, he finally, he asks her out again and she says yes. I don't know. It's kind of weird. And then they meet and they just walk around. Then they go to Ramona's place and They have tea. And another fun fact about probably something unnecessary, kind of like the package. So Mary Elizabeth Winstead, who plays Ramona, actually memorized all of the kinds of teas that her character rambles. Some crew members kept offering her to just read it from a piece of paper, but she insisted on learning it all.
What this is I wonder if she's upset because it looks like she's reading it.
I know, it's not, you can't even see what she's looking at in the frame.
It really does look like she's reading it.
But at the table read, if you watch the table read, she does it, and she does it. I think she's reading it. I need to watch it again. I don't know if she's reading it this time, but she does it exactly the same without stuttering. So
impressive.
Yeah. But also, like, why do you need that many kinds of tea?
Mm-hmm.
And then they are about to drink tea, then they don't, and then they're about to hook up. Is there
Can you hear that train? Wow. I'll cut that out.
No, it's okay. You have so much going on back there. So they're about to hook up, but Ramona says that she, like, in the middle of kissing, she's like, I've changed my mind. And she just doesn't want to hook up with him. And he's like, okay. And then the next morning, she gives him her number. And I thought I was like, oh, I'm a fucking genius. But then they pointed out later, because I was like, she wrote 7 X's on it. But that's so obvious. I don't know why I thought it was smart.
Oh my gosh, 7 X's? Wait, for the evil ones?
Oh, man. Now we're at the show. Oh, and I kind of skip across.
What a transition.
Well, I'm known for my transitions. So we're at the show, and Ramona finally meets Knives, and then, like, the notable things is that she meets Knives, and Wallace just keeps heckling the band that's on stage, which is very funny to me. And a quick fun fact about this, I don't know if you noticed the shirt that Scott is wearing. So at the first Battle of the Bands, when fighting the first Evil X, Scott is seen wearing a Plum Tree t-shirt. Plum Tree is an all-girl indie rock band that released the song Scott Pilgrim on their 1998 album, Predicts the Future. The song became the inspiration for Brian Lee O'Malley to create the graphic novel's title character.
Respect. Without that, they'd be nothing.
And this is when we meet the first X, who is Matthew Patel. And I have a lot of fun facts about him. So the amount that Scott wins after defeating Matthew Patel, plus the extra change Ramona lends him, adds up to the cost of a ride on the Toronto transit system at the time the film was made.
You know, that's just the detail that
nobody Edgar needed, Wright but
just needs. No, he needs it.
Edgar Wright told his casting director not to hire any English actors at his first, as this was his first North American film. Just for some background, Edgar Wright himself is English, so I think he just wanted it to be fully North American. But the guy that plays Matthew Patel successfully passed the audition with a non-English accent, but he later revealed that he was from London.
That's funny. Is that good? Impressive.
And then I have a little cameo from Michael Bacall, who is the co-writer. I don't know if you remember, but whenever they're like trying to figure out who this guy is, there's a guy that asks, is he a pirate during the fight? Do you remember that?
Oh, yeah.
That's the co-writer.
That's funny.
And then lastly, whenever he is finally defeated, the KO sound effect that plays whenever he defeats him, and this also plays, I think, when he defeats Gideon at the end, is from Sega's Virtua Fighter series of the fighting games.
KO.
Boom. After this, Scott and Ramona leave. I don't really have much to say about the fighting scene. I don't know if you do.
Nah, nothing really.
Also one of those things that you just gotta see. And
yeah,
then
you watch the movie.
Then this is when she finally reveals to him that he has to defeat her 7 evil exes. And mind you, this is all happening while he's still dating Knives.
Disgusting. Deplorable. How dare you, Scott?
Also, I really love this next scene whenever I think he's like telling Wallace about what's happening, and the Seinfeld, like he comes in and the Seinfeld theme is playing, and it's like a very sitcom feel because after everything they're saying, there's like laughter, and it's very strange. I really love it though. And then Wallace tells him that he has to break up with Knives or he's gonna tell on him. And then after this is when Scott actually does break up with Knives in the record store after she tells him that she loves him.
Yeah,
What a
that's what I was.
fucking asshole.
Bad timing. Bad timing, man. Poor girl.
Yeah, and then after this is when because Wallace gave him that ultimatum, now Scott can like have Ramona over and whatever. And so she comes over and her hair is blue now. I think the first time it was like pink or purple or something.
It's yeah.
And
I think.
now or like magenta or whatever. But now it's blue and he freaks the fuck out. because this shows that she's what do you say? She's spontaneous and he's not, and he's just like getting all up in his head about it.
Yeah, because she didn't make a big deal about it or something.
Yeah. He said she just changed it, didn't make a big deal, and was like, yeah, well, I change it like every week and a half, which is also not really great for your hair, but whatever. I also one of my favorite lines, or I think my favorite line in this movie is the whole bread one. So they're eating garlic bread. Yeah, this is when I think it's like their first date or something, and he's freaking out, but then they're like eating bread, and he's like, yeah, I could eat bread all the time. And she's like, yeah, but it would make you fat. And he was like, what? And she's like, bread makes you fat. And he's like, bread makes you fat?
Cut. Hard cut.
Wow. That is so annoying, though, that bread makes you fat. So he's freaking out that he's not good enough for her and that his hair is shaggy. And I like that running joke throughout this whole movie that every time he talks about his hair and how much he thinks it's like shaggy, his hat just appears on his head.
Yeah.
And so he makes them go for a walk so that he can wear his hat in peace. And this is where they end up at a film set where Lucas Lee, who is played by Chris Evans, is filming a movie. And we find out that he is one of the exes.
Ex number 2.
And what
are the odds?
Right. A couple of fun facts about this scene. So the stunt doubles of Lucas Lee are the actual stunt doubles for actor Chris Evans. Only a quarter of the doubles actually resemble Evans.
Yeah. So a lot of them are shorter.
Yeah. Lucas Lee's mentioning of letting his stunt double do the wide shots while he gets blazed and his Winnie is based on the antics caused by Wesley Snipes during the making of Blade Trinity in 2004, which was done in Canada. According to sources, including co-star Patton Oswalt, Snipes frequently held up shooting by staying in his trailer and smoking weed. This led to director David Goyer having to use stand-ins and digital effects to add Snipes into the scenes.
That's so annoying. Wow.
I mean, it's annoying, but it's funny in the scene because Scott keeps like trying to fight him, but then it ends up just being one of his stunt doubles, which is genius. The last fun fact is at one point during the battle, I think it's like towards the end, during the battle between Scott and Lucas, a fake New York City backdrop is ripped open to reveal the Toronto skyline. This is an in-joke to the custom of filming a movie in Toronto while, quote, disgusting to look...
Disguising.
Oh, did I say disgusting? I don't have my glasses on. While disguising it to look like New York or some other American city, which happens a lot. A lot of, like, places film in Toronto. I think I want to say Umbrella Academy films in Toronto.
That means nothing to me.
I've been watching it. I've been rewatching it, so it means everything to me.
Lame.
All right. So then to end the fight, he tells Lucas Lee that he like tells him to like, what is it, like grinding his skateboard? Is that what it's called?
Yeah, on some really, really intense stairs. It's like...
It's so long.
Very, very long. And he's like, I don't think you could do it. And then being the... he gets the evil eye. And he does it and he fails.
Exactly.
Dies. He pretty much just dies. I wonder how that movie... Like, is it going to be finished?
Well, I mean, they can just do what they did with Wesley Snipes. They'll just add him in post.
That's true.
Then
Yeah.
after the fight, he tries to find Ramona and she just like peaced out. And Scott tries to get a hold of her the next day, but he just can't find her. And then Wallace is just telling him how he needs him to move out. And he's like, well, I was hoping you would just move in with Ramona. But she's obviously nowhere to be found. And then while all this is happening, Envy, which is his ex, I think her name was like Natalie, but then now she's called Envy. And she asks him about his new girlfriend. I love her voice in this whole thing. She sounds like, I don't know, I don't know how
So
to describe how she
whiny,
sounds.
kind of.
Yeah. And then the next ex, I don't think at this point we know that she's an ex, but she like shows up and is just basically threatening Scott, but then she leaves, and it's kind of weird. And then he goes to meet up with his sister, but she she leaves like as soon as he gets there. And then he sees Ramona. Like there's so many things happening within one time. And then he sees Ramona there, and then Envy shows up and says that she's jealous. There's just all these things happening. Um and then he says that he's not going to think about Envy anymore. He's like, he's done with her, basically just doesn't want anything to do with her. And literally the next scene, the lead singer of his band is like, well, she invited us to open for them. And I said yes, because a gig is a gig is a gig.
That's the truth, especially in an upcoming band.
Exactly. And then after this, Knives is still reeling about the whole breakup, so she decides to dye her hair.
And yeah, she thinks she's not as thinks she's not as edgy
or as cool. And she's like, she keeps calling her old, and she's like, what is she, like 25?
That's you, right? Or you're like ancient though.
Yeah, I'm older than that. Do you know how old I am?
Like 35 probably.
Yep. So then after that, she texts young Neil to try to get, I guess that's like one of her plans, to try to get him jealous. First she dyes her hair, and now she's gonna put her attention on young Neil. And so I think this is at the I always forget the like venues, but they're basically, after they open is when everything starts to go to shit. Like first the opening is like not great. Whenever they finish, everybody is like fucking dead silent. Mm-hmm. And then Knives shows up, and I think that's when Ramona figures out that they were dating. And a fun fact about this is when Ramona asks Scott how old Knives is, the roulette wheel in his mind has the following choices: she's nobody, she's 40, idiot, no speak English, when's dinner, tell Pac-Man 1980 story, no you are, pass out, it was nothing, who her, and I gotta pee. Which he ended up saying, I gotta pee on her.
Because it lands in between I gotta pee and who her. Yeah. I gotta pee on her.
And after this is probably my favorite part of the entire movie, which is, I forgot what Envy's band is name called. Or, well, I can't fucking talk. I forgot what their name is, basically, the band. But I love this scene. That song, which actually is by, I think I have, it's later in the, I think, notes, but it's a song called Black Sheep by Metric is the actual song, but I think Brie Larson sings it for this movie. But that whole scene is so good.
The way it's cut too, where like at every beat you can, or it's a different character and they're just all staring at each other because it's like a stare down kind of.
Because this is also when we learn. So I think she already knows that, at this point she already knows that Envy is his ex, but this is when we learn that Envy's new boyfriend, Todd, is Ramona's ex. So they're all just staring each other down. This is also when he realizes that. So it's just a big moment. And the song is just fucking good.
It's a really good song. And in one of the outtakes for this movie, one of the scenes is, or one of the outtakes is Brie Larson like falling, and she falls so bad on stage.
Is this like on YouTube or something?
Yeah, it's on YouTube.
Oh, okay.
It's funny because like earlier in the movie, whenever like at the party scene in the frat house with the weird light switch, there's like no one is speaking. It's just like, because obviously it's not a real party. It's just weird, a little peek behind the scenes, but like it's just no one is saying anything. And same for the concert. It's just like Brie Larson's the only one who's like kind of singing just to like sync up the audio with the visual.
Mm-hmm.
But it's just like dead silent. It's weird.
Yeah, that happens in a lot of, basically, I think almost every movie or TV show or something. It's usually silent.
It's just weird.
Or if they do play a song, because sometimes at the time of filming, that doesn't necessarily mean they have all the rights to the songs that they can use during the movie.
Mm-hmm.
So, for instance, you're gonna be mad, but the only thing I can think of is Umbrella Academy. There's that show is also very has a really good soundtrack, and it uses a lot of songs like during fight scenes and stuff. But there's one scene, I think during the second season, where a couple of them are dancing, and they were dancing to a different song that they didn't realize would be in the new one. So sometimes they do have music playing, but it doesn't really match up. And but for party scenes, that does make sense to not have any music, but it also is probably super awkward because there's so many people, and I think they all have to be quiet so that you can do your lines. And that's just so awkward to like be talking to one person, but everybody can hear you. Strange. Yeah, so after the show is when the band and Ramona, Knives, all of them get invited backstage, and it's so awkward. And then out of nowhere, Todd just like punches the shit out of Knives because she like, I don't even know what she did. Either way, it was very weird. And he says he doesn't care if he hits a girl because he's a rock star.
Well, it's because Knives is obsessed with Envy, and Knives, I think the breaking point is when Knives says, "Wait, I've kissed lips that you've kissed," and then he just punches.
But it was so weird. I was like, why? Like I guess she's being annoying, but like, what? Like, it was just so strange. And then he punched her so hard that he punched the highlights out of her hair. Oh, so strange. And then Todd,
that I liked. That was funny.
Yeah, it's kind of weird, but whatever. Then Todd reveals that he has powers because he's vegan, which makes you, quote, better than most people. I love the whole vegan stuff. Like the vegan police and everything is so funny.
Didn't he say something like, "I don't want to brag about it" or something?
Yeah, but the quote, like whenever, I think it's Envy that says that he's like, when you're vegan, it makes you better than most people. So he doesn't say that, but Envy does. Oh, and a fun fact. So whenever the moon is shown in the movie, I didn't have a chance to actually look at this, but apparently whenever the moon is shown, it's full and there's a hole in it because Ramona's third boyfriend, who Todd Ingram, the vegan, is mentioned in the flashback to have punched the hole there for her when they dated.
Oh, yeah. That's cool.
So if you watch the movie again and you look at the moon every time it's shown, it should have a hole in it.
Very cool.
And in the graphic novel, Todd punches a second hole in the moon for Envy Adams. So it's just something he does.
He's just going to do that regardless. He's just going to punch a hole.
And then Scott finally defeats him by giving him half and half. Kind of Princess Bride style, where he has 2 things of coffee and he offers it to her, or to her, to Todd. And Todd thinks he's offering him the half and half, but they actually both have half and half. Have you seen Princess Bride? Do you know what I'm talking about?
Yeah, the poison.
Okay. Yeah. And then the vegan police take away his powers because it's his third strike. Because the first one, I think he had eggs or something, or he had something that had eggs in it. And then the second one, he had chicken. He had chicken parmesan. He's like, chicken's not vegan.
Stupid.
Then after that, they decide to go to some after party where the next ex appears, which a fun fact that I'm so mad that I didn't realize this, but one of the evil exes, who is this one that we're talking about now, is portrayed by Mae Whitman, who previously played the girlfriend of Michael Cera's character in Arrested Development.
Her?
I didn't even put that connection together.
Yeah.
And
Come on.
for me, I mean, we can talk about if you have a favorite one later, but this is my favorite fight scene between, it's supposed to be between Scott and, I think May's character is Roxy. It's supposed to be between them two, but Ramona and Roxy kind of have a fight. And I really love that fight scene.
Eh,
You don't like it?
it's all right.
It
It's
felt
not
like
my
the
favorite.
coolest one to me. But one of the fun facts too about Roxy, which is kind of like the one for the drummer, is when the camera is on her face, she never blinks. She only blinks in the fight scenes as she starts losing and when she is defeated. Then, after defeating Roxy, Scott asks Ramona to give him a list of her evil exes, and she sarcastically says that she might have it laminated. And a few minutes later, when she actually gives him the list, it is in fact laminated.
I didn't even notice that. Is it really?
I didn't notice it either, but it's in the fun fact, so I'm going to say it. I don't
That's
remember
funny.
giving. Did she give him a list? Maybe
Yeah,
it's like
she ran stormed off and then walked back and just gave him the list and walked back away.
Oh yeah. Then yeah, probably laminated. I don't think I noticed. Then they're in the middle of a fight because he's tired of the evil exes, and he's being such an ass. And she's like, "You're an evil ex waiting to be made," or something. And they just have like a fight. Yeah,
that hit.
So now we're at Battle of the Bands, where they're competing against twins who are both her exes, and a fun fact about this band. So the band battle between Sex Bomb and a Canadian rock band and the Katayanija twins, a Japanese electronic group, was performed by Beck, an American rock musician, and Cornelius Keigo Oyamada, an electric musician from Japan. So those songs were not performed by the people that were in the movie, basically. And this is when we learned. So I think, I forgot the guy's name, but the lead singer of Sex Bomb keeps talking about G-Man. He's like trying to impress this G-Man guy, and we learn that it's actually Gideon, who is the guy that formed the League, or I think it's the League, right, of Evil Exes.
The League, yes.
He's basically the leader of them, which is like kind of like the final boss. And Ramona is like standing with him. And then this is,
with her hair changed. It's green now.
It's green now, yeah. And Ramona breaks up with Scott right after this because she wants to be with Gideon. She says that she can't help herself when she's around him. And so Gideon is played by Jason Schwartzman, and honestly, I get it.
Gross. Shut up.
Why are you mad?
It's just dumb. Truly, I get it, girl.
I
get it.
I couldn't help myself either. Oh man. And so he signs their band, but Scott's
without
like
Scott.
because Scott's like doesn't want to sign with them, and then the lead singer just does it instantly. And then he takes off with Ramona, and he's being just a little dickling. And then Scott takes some time to be a sad boy. And then after that, he realizes, I think him and Wallace are like talking about it, and he's kind of like, oh, I just need to get over it. Or Wallace tells him, like, you just need to get over it, dude. Like, it's done. She's with him now. Who cares? But then he's calls him and is basically gloating and just being such an asshole. And Wallace is like, fuck that. You need to go, like, beat his ass, basically. Yeah, and so Scott goes to the Chaos Theater, which is the theater that Gideon, I guess, just opened.
Mm-hmm.
And I shared this with you last night, but I have kind of a fun fact that I realized when I was watching it last night. So when he goes to the Chaos Theater, he has to go through like 2 people, or it's like 3 people. So there's one guy at the first kind of checkpoint where he has a password, and I don't remember what the passwords were. But the second one, do you remember what it was?
The first one was like, it was just like a sigh, and the other one was like, come on, guys, or something like that.
Yeah, it was just dumb. But at the second checkpoint, one of the guys that is in the movie that's like, I guess the bodyguard, I don't know what you would call him, or bouncer. He's in Thirsty, which is the mini series that I like worked on. The
which
web
is
series
crazy.
that you can watch at thirsty.show and watch the movie and then watch Thirsty and you can figure out who I'm talking about.
It's the guy on the right.
Oh my God.
It's the guy on the right.
All right, so when he finally gets in, Scott fights a bunch of people to get to Gideon. Well, we also see Sex Bob-omb, who they look fucking miserable, and basically they sold out to Gideon, and they're just not happy at all.
Mm-hmm.
And then when he's fighting, Knives enters the scene, but she doesn't want to fight Gideon or Scott. She wants to fight Ramona, and then Scott gets killed. But then because he goes back in time because he's like starting to realize that he is going about this all wrong.
No, he does not go back in time.
Oh,
he has another life. So he starts over.
Yeah, but it goes back though, is what I'm saying.
He doesn't go back in time. He just restarts. It's a game.
Whatever.
He restarts the mission. Come on.
Anyways.
Get with the program.
Well, this time he does everything right. Instead of fighting to defend Ramona's honor kind of thing, he fights for his own self-respect.
Mm-hmm.
And there's some things I didn't care for in this movie, and like we said, it's 10 years old, so there's some where I'm like they do say the R word in it. I don't know if you saw that.
No, I don't remember that.
Yeah, that was kind of like cringy. And then this whole like the thing that Knives keeps like talking about, she keeps calling Ramona fat, and like Ramona's not fat, and also fat is not really an insult. Like, I don't know, that was kind of like tiring after a while, but whatever, I guess product of its time. But at the end, I do like, I guess, that whole message of him like wanting to fight Gideon rather than, and him doing it with Knives, basically. Like, he's not just doing it on his own. It's not just like him trying to be self-righteous. It's him trying to settle something, I guess.
Mm-hmm.
Do you not have a favorite fight scene?
What is the last one?
Yeah, I was going to say, I would guess it would be the last one. Maybe where he goes back in time.
Goes back in time. No, it's just like he knows what he's doing, and I like when he like pulls the sword like out of his chest.
And when he earns self-respect. I think that's what
yeah, it's a good fight scene.
I also love the next part where Gideon's like, well, now you have to fight yourself. And it's like, I think it's like Mega Scott or something, right?
Nigga Scott. It's like a grayed out version with red eyes. Yeah.
But then, so they're about to fight, apparently. He's like, I think Knives and Ramona are like going to help him. And he's like, no, I need to do this on my own. And then we cut to Ramona and Knives waiting outside. And he like walks out. And he's like he's like walking out talking to the other Scott. And he's just like, they're like making plans to go to brunch. And he's like, yeah. They're like, oh, did you fight? And he's like, no, we just kind of chatted. He's a really nice guy.
We have a lot of similarities.
It's like we have a lot in common. We're going to have brunch.
So funny.
I love that part where, because when that happened, I don't remember much of this movie, but whenever that happened, I couldn't remember if there was actually a fight, and I was all violenced out, where I was like, I don't want to watch another fight. And so I really love that they did that, because at least for me, I was like, ugh, already exhausted.
Yeah, and it just what's it called? It just wasn't what you expected.
Yeah, but very, very funny. I loved it. Mm-hmm. And then Ramona just says she's gonna leave so that him and Knives can like be together. I don't know. She just like, I need to go. I need to remove myself from the situation. But then Knives is like telling Scott, like, you need to go get her. Like, you were fighting for her this whole fucking time. Like, just go. And then he catches up with her, and then they leave together through this like weird door. I was looking through the fun facts to see if that, like, what that meant, but I couldn't find anything. I don't know if you know, but
I think it's the door to her apartment.
Oh, okay.
I think so, because it had that star on it, and I think it was the same one from when I don't know. I think that's what it was.
Well, they do mention, because she says that she wants to start over, and I mean, Wallace is already kicking him out, so it does make sense for him to go with her and start over. So I think that's probably like just a symbol of them going through a new door, a new journey.
I like the ending too, with the continue, like counting down.
Oh yeah, I like that too.
Oh, that was perfect ending.
All right, I have a few more fun facts. Actually, a lot more.
Go for it.
Let's just go through these.
Knock it out.
Edgar Wright has stated the movie was done in the style of a musical, but instead of the characters breaking into song and dance, they break into a fight. The battle between Scott Pilgrim and Matthew Patel is done in the style of a Bollywood fight scene.
Yeah, because they're like kind of singing too and dancing.
Yeah, that's very Bollywood. The original concept for Scott Pilgrim is based around two premises. The first was the idea of what if after a life of playing fighting games, someone confronted you and you actually had the ability to fight like Street Fighter characters. The second was a concept. The second concept came about when Brian Lee O'Malley was dating his future wife, when he learned that she had dated 3 different guys named Matthew O'Malley. What? Oh, IMDb is tripping with their formatting. So she dated 3 different guys named Matthew, and so he came up with the idea of a League of Matthews. The idea developed into the League of Evil Exes. Matthew Patel is the only... Should I do that again?
No, you're
fine. I'm losing my mind.
You're fine.
You try to read these, ho.
I'll read the next ones, bro, because that was hard. But yeah, Matthew Patel is the only evil ex to keep the name Matthew. I usually try to
read these beforehand so this doesn't happen, and so you can tell I just did not read this one.
That was rough.
So yeah, the idea developed into the League of Evil Exes. Matthew Patel is the only evil ex to keep the name Matthew. All right, do the next one, because I'm struggling.
The Canadian band Broken Social Scene wrote the 2 4-second songs We Hate You, Please Die, and I Am So Sad, so very, very sad, for Crash and the Boys. Metric and other Canadian band wrote the song Black Sheep, which is performed by Scott's rival band, The Clash, at Demon Head.
Oh, that's the name of their band.
Oh, it was written specifically for this song or for this movie?
I don't know. Maybe.
That'd be cool. That's a good song. I have that saved, Black Sheep. And as a clue to the fights with the evil exes that Scott will have to endure, there are many X's presented in the film. Tracks in the snow, shadows on the swing sets, all forming the letter X, as does, ultimately, the X-Men patch on Scott's coat surrounding pedestrian crossing signs. Yeah, that one I remember specifically. Yeah. The X-Men patch, kinda, but he was like, it was when he was walking and he was like kind of tired of the evil exes, and it's when I don't remember her name. Roxy, when he interacts with her for the first time, like after that is when you see the pedestrian crossing signs with the X.
All right, let me redeem myself. I can do the rest.
Go for it.
Matthew Patel is the only evil ex that Scott defeats single-handedly. Lucas Lee obliterates himself in an accident. The vegan police help to defeat Todd. Ramona helps to defeat Roxy. Steven Stills and Kim help to defeat the twins. And Knives and Ramona help defeat Gideon.
Ain't nothing wrong with that. He's work smarter, not harder.
In the film, Scott Pilgrim is 22 years old and his sister Stacy Pilgrim is 18. In real life, actor Michael Cera is nearly 3 years younger than Anna Kendrick, who plays his sister. Likewise, Ellen Wong, who plays 17-year-old Knives Chow, is actually 3 years older than Cera. Oh, you'll like this one. Robert Pattinson, Sebastian Stan, Rooney Mara, Zoe Kazan, and Betty Gilpin are among the future stars who auditioned for this movie, according to Wright and the casting directors in the 10-year anniversary interviews. Robert Pattinson. He would have been a good X, maybe. I don't know which one, though.
He's not a...
Oh, no, he would have been a good... I don't know. Maybe like one of Wallace's like boyfriends.
Yeah, that's what I was going to say. That's cool.
All right. An alternate ending was filmed in which Ramona left to explore what she was like without a boyfriend, and Scott and Knives ended up back together. What do you think about that ending?
I like everything except for Knives and then Scott back together because I don't know.
I did.
Knives is too nice for him. He was
Yeah,
mean.
she's also too young still. Oh, I don't know that. Well, I don't know the law in Canada, but because she was 17, right?
No. Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah, that too. Not only is she too nice for him, too young.
I would have liked Ramona not being with anybody, though. I think I would have liked
Yeah,
that ending.
that would have been fine with me.
All right, the last one. Edgar Wright obtained permission to use the famous theme song from the SNES game. What? What is that?
SNES is just. Yeah, you redeemed yourself.
What is that, though?
It's just a console.
Oh, I thought that stood for something.
Super Nintendo Entertainment System.
Why don't they say Nintendo? I'm not going to know that. All right, so the game Legend of Zelda: A Link to the Past, by writing a letter to Nintendo saying that it is considered to be the nursery rhyme of this generation. Is that true? I don't even would I recognize that sound?
I mean, you're probably not a part of the generation, but maybe.
Well, I guess. He was also allowed to use the Seinfeld theme song for a sitcom style sequence.
Good sequence.
Oh yeah. I forgot that there was the Seinfeld theme song.
Yeah, I had no idea. It came to me as a surprise.
All right, final thoughts. I love this movie. I'm very surprised that it didn't do well in theaters. I wonder why not.
Maybe bad timing. I don't know.
I guess.
It would do really good in today's age.
Yeah, and it's always been a movie to me that a lot of people loved.
Mm-hmm.
So I feel like too there's probably movies now that I guess that's a good question, but we probably had to prepare for it, but like what movie now do you think had a bad opening or a bad reception but is going to be more popular later?
Yeah, that's hard to say.
There is one that I saw a tweet about. There's a movie Widows. Have you seen that with Viola Davis and
No. Oh, no, but I know what you're talking about. And I could
that
see
movie?
why.
When I saw it in theaters and it was I think I like told Sebastian we should go see it. I didn't know much about it. I just knew Viola Davis was in it, so I was like, obviously I need to go see it. But I didn't have much expectations for it because it didn't really have much marketing for it. And then after I saw it, I was like, this movie was fucking amazing. Like, how is nobody talking about it? And it should have swept that entire award season, but nothing. So that's the first one I can think of. I'm sure there's one. Maybe
Yeah.
Tenet. Because nobody will see it. Or the people that do see it are probably going to like die or something.
Yeah, they will die.
All right. Well, that's my final thoughts. Any final thoughts?
Good movie. Please watch it.
Yeah, I don't think any, like, no podcast that talks about this can really do it justice, so you need to go watch it.
Yeah.
But hopefully
definitely.
You liked some of the little tidbits that I managed to get out because there's some that my brain was like, yeah, you can't read today. All right, are you ready for next week?
What are we watching?
So I had a hard time trying to pick what we were going to watch because I wanted to pick something that I knew neither of us had seen, but is newish. I didn't want to pick like an older movie. So I think I picked a great one and I'm excited.
All
so
right,
it's
what's
on
up?
Netflix, came out in 2018, and it's called Burning.
Oh, okay. I've heard of it. I think
it's not in English. So, and it's also very long. Looking at it now, it has a running time of 2 hours and 28 minutes. So not a fan of how long it is, but I have heard a lot of great things about it, especially when it came out 2 years ago. I heard so many great things, and I just never got a, like, you know how you are picking movies that you've been wanting to watch again, or you just want to watch in general? This is one that I want to watch, and so I'm forcing us to watch it. And just to get a little Netflix synopsis of it. An aspiring writer goes to the airport to pick up a high school friend returning from a trip to Africa, but is disheartened to see her with another man.
Oh. Sad.
All right, Burning on Netflix is what we're watching.
Sounds good.
All right. See you next time. Wear a mask. Any last words?
I don't know why this gap between episodes felt like so long.
It did. It felt like a month.
Feels good to be back. Join the Discord. I know we haven't been as active, but we will be.
Yeah, it was, at least for me, it was just the whole moving stuff. Yeah, honestly, I like when I mess up. It keeps me humble.
Gross.
Nobody makes fun of me. So, I mean, at least not to my face. So if you want to make fun of me, that's fine. But, I mean, you try reading out loud when you're reading something for the first time. I know I shouldn't do that to myself, but I do it, and it happens.
You try reading numbers. Huh?
Truly, try it. It's hard. I've been there. This one has had so many fucking IMDb notes that I just like skimmed most of them, and I was like, I'll read it beforehand so I don't mess up. And obviously, I did it, and it's my fault, and I need to punish myself.
Just listen to this episode again. That would be fun.
I do listen to most of them. I started not to, but
I don't even bother. Other than what I edit, no. Like I take mental notes now.
I used to listen to everyone, but now I've been kind of less inclined to.
Yeah.
But yeah, let us know what you think, though. Leave us a review. We don't really have many reviews on,
if any,
Apple. So please, if you are so inclined, leave us a review. 5 stars, 4, 3, 2, 1, whatever you want. I don't care. No, I'm kidding. 5, please.
5.
If we've earned it.
Give us what we deserve.
Keep us humble. All right. See ya.
Bye.